Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating classroom story that perfectly captures the age-old struggle of time management, but, with a pretty wild sci-fi twist. We've all been students, right? We all know that deep dread of an unfinished assignment and the sheer panic of a looming deadline. But what if your teacher had the ultimate literal tool to call your bluff? Well, that's exactly what we're exploring in today's Explainer as we look at the brilliant story of Mr. Gupta and his, let's just say, incredibly unique approach to teaching the value of hard work.
Now, every school has that one teacher, the one whose reputation absolutely precedes them. Enter Mr. Gupta. He was known around the hallways as the new, very strict teacher. You know the type, the kind who demands absolute discipline and accepts absolutely zero nonsense. But there was this crazy rumor going around, a secret that totally contradicted his super traditional, stern exterior. The rumor was that Mr. Gupta brought a time machine to school. Yes, an actual functioning time machine. Just imagine walking into your first day of class, expecting a boring syllabus read-through, and instead, sitting right there in the corner is a literal sci-fi gadget. It completely sets the stage for what turns out to be a masterclass in behavioral psychology.
So naturally, on the very first day, Mr. Gupta sets the ground rules and gives out a homework assignment. And the very next day, what happens? A student gives the most universal, classic excuse in the entire history of education. Sir, time nahi mila, which translates to, Sir, I didn't get time. We've all used it, or at the very least, we've definitely thought about using it. It's the absolute go-to defense for procrastination. But instead of yelling or giving a long lecture or handing out a detention, Mr. Gupta just smiled calmly and said, no problem, let's go back to yesterday. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact moment things got incredibly real for this class. Mr. Gupta actually took the students into this strange machine. He pressed a button, there was a massive boom, and suddenly they were transported back to the previous day. And what did they find? Well, the student's claim was no time for homework, but the reality? The student was caught red-handed, sitting right there in the past, playing PUBG. No family emergencies, no actual lack of time, just pure, unadulterated procrastination on a video game while the clock ticked away. Talk about getting busted in the most epic way possible. Mr. Gupta turns to the student and with this witty, knowing smile, delivers a brilliant ultimatum. He says, do your homework or get back in the machine. It is such a perfect moment because it connects directly to our own everyday habits. I mean, how often do we convince ourselves that we simply don't have time for our goals, when what we really mean is we prioritize something else, like scrolling through our phones, binge-watching TV, or gaming? Mr. Gupta wasn't just calling out one lazy student here. He was holding up a massive mirror to human nature and our endless capacity for making excuses. Let's move to and see how this builds, because human nature is also always looking for a shortcut. Seeing this amazing machine in action, another student named Rohan gets a supposedly genius idea. His master plan is pretty simple. Travel to the day before the test, peek at the exam to memorize the entire question paper, travel back to the present day, and boom, score a perfect 100 out of 100 without studying. And amazingly, Mr. Gupta actually agrees to take him. So Rohan executes the plan perfectly, memorizing absolutely everything. The results finally come out. Rohan's paper is flawless. Every single answer is exactly right. He scored a 100 out of 100. But when he gets his actual graded paper back from Mr. Gupta, it's a 0. A big fat 0. Just pause for a second and imagine the absolute shock. You've hacked the system, you've used a literal time machine to get the answers, your paper's technically perfect, and you still fail. Of course, Rohan is utterly stunned. He immediately asks the burning question that would be on absolutely anyone's mind in that exact situation. Sir Kyum, why, sir? Why give a 0 for a flawless paper? It's the question we're all asking at this point in the story, right? Rohan followed the rules of the time jump. He provided the correct information on the test. So what exactly was the big problem? Well, Mr. Gupta's response is the absolute core of this lesson. He looks right at Rohan and tells him, if you copy with a time machine instead of working hard, you'll remain a 0 in life. It's just a profound piece of wisdom. Mr. Gupta is really emphasizing mehat, that vital concept of hard work and genuine effort. He's showing that the final grade on a piece of paper isn't actually what matters. It's the process of learning and the discipline you build along the way. Shortcuts, even magical sci-fi shortcuts, entirely bypass the actual effort required for true success. If you cheat the process, you are ultimately only cheating yourself out of personal growth and resilience. But, as you might guess, a literal time machine in a middle school is absolutely bound to cause some administrative trouble. Eventually, the principal finds out exactly what's going on and steps in. He declares, "This machine is a danger to the school," and orders it to be removed immediately. Now, you might expect Mr. Gupta to fight for his incredible physics-defying invention, but instead, without a single moment of hesitation, Mr. Gupta just smashes the machine to pieces right there on the spot. The final, lasting message Mr. Gupta delivers as the machine lies broken on the floor is just incredibly profound. He looks at his students and says, "Asli time machine to tumhara dimag aur mehnat hai." Your real time machine is your brain and your hard work. He pivots right to the heart of the matter here. Applying your brain to the right places and putting in the actual effort is how you conquer the world. The machine was never the point. It was always just a brilliant, highly theatrical prop to teach them about their own untapped potential. And you know what? It worked brilliantly. From that day on, the behavior in the classroom completely transformed. Everyone started arriving to school on time, and perhaps way more importantly, the homework was always completed. Zero excuses. Mr. Gupta's unconventional, pretty extreme lesson was highly effective. By literally showing them the consequences of their wasted time and the absolute emptiness of taking shortcuts, he completely changed their entire mindset. To the crucial point is how we actually redefine this concept for ourselves in our own lives. The real time machine isn't some magical gadget that lets you fix your past mistakes or somehow cheat your way into a successful future. The real time machine is setting an alarm. It's putting your head down and putting in the hard work today. It's actively managing the 24 hours you already have instead of just wishing for a way to manipulate time. Consistent, focused, hard work is literally the only thing that actually creates the future you want. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today, leaving us with a really critical, challenging question to ask ourselves. Are you waiting for a time machine to fix your procrastination, or are you actually ready to use your brain and put in the effort today? Stop waiting for a magical solution or, the perfect time to start. The time is right now, and the power to shape your future is already in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. Now go out there, set that alarm, and put in the hard work.